I'm Mayor Tommy Roberts. Welcome back to the Mayor's Table. My guest this morning is Richard Neely, who is the president of the American Amateur Baseball Congress. Richard, welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Appreciate it.
Richard, you've been involved with local baseball for many, many years. You and I go way back to
Yes,
the
we
time
do.
we were probably 10 years old and playing Little League Baseball. And so I've appreciated the fact that you've gotten so engaged in assisting to provide baseball opportunities for young people throughout the country. I think you're the fifth president in the history of the American Amateur Baseball Congress.
That's correct.
And it goes back to a fellow by the name of C.O. Brown back into the early, late 50s, and then Lincoln Hackham, Joe Cooper, and then another local product, Mike Diamond, served as president of the organization for a few years, and now you are serving in that capacity.
That's correct.
How long have you been in that position?
I've been president now for 10 years.
10 years, the time goes by very, very fast.
Yes, it does.
So, consistent with serving in that position, you've moved the national offices of the American Amateur Baseball Congress to Farmington. Have they been located in Farmington that 10-year period of time?
Yes, in fact, when Mike was president, we moved it there at that time, so it's been 13 years now we've been in Farmington.
Tell us a little bit about the mission of the AABC.
AABC was founded in 1935. We're the second oldest amateur baseball program in the United States. And our main mission is to provide a competitive atmosphere that teaches sportsmanship and good play to all citizens.
So you have sponsored age group play, 18 years and younger. How many divisions of play are there in the organization?
Currently, we start them at 4 years old in Puerto Rico and go through adults. So we currently hold 13 different World Series for various age groups, and like everyone else today, continually striving to make sure and trying to keep kids playing baseball. That's the biggest challenge we face today.
Farmington's become a very big part of the AABC program, and that's a relationship that has existed now for 53 years, I believe. We just completed the 52nd
Right.
Annual Connie Mack World Series in Farmington, New Mexico, and I think a year before that we hosted a regional tournament, and so it's a long relationship. Speak to that relationship.
Well, as you're well aware of, 6 gentlemen many, many years ago went to Chicago, Illinois and bid for the Connie Mack World Series. We were fortunate enough to win it, and we've had a tremendous run, and hopefully it's going to continue for a long time. We continue our roving 10-year contract with the American Amateur Baseball Congress and the Connie Mack World Series Committee, and we've done it for 52 years. We're going to get it down sooner or later and get it right.
We are. How many more years are left on that contract, or does it just roll?
It's
a 10-year rolling
10-year
contract?
rolling, correct.
All right. So what is it that the city of Farmington does for the AABC in conjunction with the Connie Mack World Series?
Oh, man, the main thing's volunteers. I mean, there's over 350 volunteers every year that run and help put on the Connie Mack World Series, headed up by the foster parent program, which we are still unique to that. Several other organizations have tried to implement that program, and some have been successful, some haven't, and I think that's a big, big attaboy to Farmington because, as you know, you've kept kids, I've kept kids. It's a very rewarding event. You get attached to them. They become your sons and lifelong friends. And that's probably the biggest strength that Farmington offers, in addition to our wonderful Parks and Recs department, the field crews, the condition of the fields, the facilities, they're second to none. It's great.
The AABC is a business organization, and so you have to operate it as a business, and you have to have revenue flow that outstrips cost outgo. And so we look at these Connie Mack World Series events, and most people would probably think that the Connie Mack World Series is a money maker. And I'm curious, what's the perspective of the AABC with respect to the Connie Mack World Series and other World Series events that it sponsors?
Well, obviously, the Connie Mack's our granddaddy. That's our number one. And it is a profitable venture, and it has been profitable for many, many years. We just did a economic survey, in fact, this year for the USA Baseball and some things we're working on with them. And the Connie Mack World Series generates just over $3 million in economic revenue for the city of Farmington. So it's obviously a win-win for both sides at that point. The Connie Mack World Series continues itself, that organization, another 501c3 corporation, continues to be profitable and putting money back into the facilities, which it continues to do every year. We look at a lot of Ricketts Park. It was developed by that committee, and what a gift to the city of Farmington. And AABC, again, profitability is key. I thank goodness for the Connie Mack World Series because it does give me a boost every year. The others definitely do not. We have some ventures that we've started this year that look very, very promising, very similar to Farmington, so we're excited about that.
What does the future look like for the AABC program overall? And then maybe you can talk specifically about the Connie Mack division.
Okay. Obviously, we're having to adapt. Baseball, amateur baseball, youth baseball has lost about 30% of its participants in the last 10 years. And this is across the board with all organizations. We continue our meeting a couple times a year now, all the youth groups, attempting to figure out what we need to put in place to keep youth playing baseball. It's America's game. We got to maintain it. AABC, on that hand, we are evaluating right now. In fact, Mike and I are running a lot of financials and looking to see what we need to do to alter the AABC to bring it up to current standards. I mean, many ideals that we grew up on as far as winning your city, winning your state, winning your region, advancing to a World Series, doesn't happen today. Parents don't have the ability to take a month off and travel with their kids. So we're looking at that, and specifically Connie Mack. Next year, we hope to implement, I'll get it finalized here in the next couple of weeks. We're going to go to more of a qualifying system. Naturally, we've got our Mattingly winner and we have our Farmington host team. We're probably going to have a couple at large bids that we will issue each year for approximately a 3-year round and be judged annually on teams that we know continually make it to Farmington and provide good teams. We think we've got to raise that level again a little bit as far as the overall play to maintain the level of this tournament. I mean, it's one of the top, if not the top, amateur baseball tournament in America. So probably by adding more qualifiers and giving teams the ability to know they're coming to Farmington earlier will help get them here and make it more financially reasonable for everyone.
Connie Mack World Series is extremely popular,
yes,
in our community, and it's not just the city of Farmington. It extends out into San Juan County and even beyond that.
Correct.
Games are well attended. Evening games are generally sold out. General admission, hard to find a seat.
Exactly.
What are we going to do about the popularity of the event and the desire that I hear expressed sometime that more people could be accommodated in the stadium?
Well, as you know, with budgets within the city and budgets within baseball, I'd love to have that entire outfield or a big section of it be general admission where we could create our own rock pile or whatever we'd want to call it. Obviously, that takes some initiatives from street closures and financial raising money to do it. Every year, it's very difficult because there are no tickets available, and yet it's a 1-week event, so it's hard to expand something for a 1-week event and make it worthwhile.
Yeah, and to be fair, that's not an AABC
Correct.
responsibility. The AABC might like to see it
Absolutely.
happen and would be a partner in trying to make it happen, but it's more a community project that would have to be vetted, and obviously funding is a big issue there, but
Correct.
It's something that is worthy of discussion into the future. I found that as I travel around the country for various reasons that the Connie Mack World Series has given Farmington a national identity. Do you see that as well?
Absolutely. I travel, probably at 12 to 15 trips a year with my personal business as well as baseball. And everywhere I go, I run into somebody that goes, Farmington, there's a baseball tournament there. And then they'll come around to the Connie Mack World Series. And I also run into players continually that played in Farmington, and they remember Farmington. It was a great, great experience for them.
It's been a great legacy for our community, and it's one that we hope continues well into the future, even well beyond the time that you and I are involved.
Absolutely.
But there are going to be other people who are being groomed to take over these responsibilities, and I think that with hard work, it is something that our community can expect to have in its future. we appreciate that partnership and look forward to continuing it on, and we wish the ABC great success. Is there anything you'd like to say in closing?
I'd just like to reach out and thank Farmington. I mean, they're the ones and the reason we can put on this great tournament. And please come out to the games every year as you always do. We have sellout crowds, and thank you very much.
Richard, thank you for being my guest this
You
morning.
bet. Thank you.
And we want to thank you for viewing in this morning. We hope you have enjoyed this segment of the Mayor's Table. We'll see you again next Monday.